With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. So, Men in Black is a franchise that I've loved since the 90s when it came out. I know it was based like an old comic book or something. I never read the comic book, but I really enjoyed Barry Sonnenfeld's 1997 film. Even though if you go back and listen to Will Smith's titular song now, the lyrics are garbage, right? Like the Men in Black song is a great hook, but the lyrics are crap. And Men in Black 3 from 2012 was not very good. The fact that it had to shut down production for 2 months for them to figure out the ending should not have happened. And now Sony is very much wanting to keep this stuff going, and I am not too sure how to feel about it, with the exception of being completely on board if F. Gary Gray actually signs on to direct. F. Gary Gray is a fantastic director. And the dude never gets the credit that he deserves, in my opinion. So it says here, F. Gary Gray is a choice to direct the Men in Black film that will relaunch the franchise for Sony and Amblin. Negotiations are underway towards a deal. Gray is enjoying a mid-career trajectory that began with Straight Outta Compton and then extended most recently to the third highest global grossing film of 2017, The Fate of the Furious. The film grossed $1.2 billion. Yeah, here's a quick side thing with that. You know, Vin Diesel was like the highest paid actor in Hollywood in 2017. He was in like 2 movies, Guardians and Fast and Furious. I think that was what he was in. And yeah, a lot of money. So anyway, so the Men in Black has a script by Iron Man scribes Matt Holloway and Art Markham, and the studio greenlit the picture on their draft. The thing is, though, the Iron Man script was more of like a rough assembly of scenes that was kind of shambled together by a lot of ad-lib by Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Bridges and the other characters or the other cast members. So I'm not going to look at that as being like this huge, big, insane thing. Not saying that they can't write and they didn't piece together a good story, but let's be fair, Iron Man pretty much was Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Jr. The majority. So Sony, which is coming off a big hit in reviving the Jumanji franchise, is hungry for more, and the studio has set a June 14th, 2019 release date. Oh, wow. And Steven Spielberg is exec producing. So here's the thing. The Jumanji movie, I hear, is remarkably good. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list of things to see. I saw 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri instead of watching Jumanji because I wanted more of an adult film. But I've heard that it's really good. Kevin Hart and The Rock really work together well. And outside of that, what was that one they did? Central Intelligence, which was not very good. But I hear this one is good. And so it's also gone on to gross over, I think, 700. It's beat out Wonder Woman, I think. Like that's over $800 million worldwide. Jumanji has made a movie that no one asked for, and that when it was first announced, there was a lot of groaning over, like, oh god. But the movie's gone on to do very well. So Sony, knowing that they need to have a few more wins under their belt in order to maintain Sony Pictures, they are going to be very much going back to the well and trying to find the movies that do well for them. So Sony and Amblin have been trying to figure out the best way to relaunch the series since the original pairing of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith ran its course in the 2012 third installment. The attempts included a spin-off film that would meld Sony's 21 Jump Street cast members Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill into an extraterrestrial spin-off. This film isn't that one. Rather, it is a spin-off grounded in the original premise of a covert force policing the alien population hiding in plain sight, the premise of the comic book series by Lowell Cunningham and Sandy Carruthers. Now, when they first mentioned 23 Jump Street / Men in Black, that came out of the Sony hack, I think, and that was one that had everyone going, huh? I'm sorry, come again? Like, what are you talking about here? And at the same time, I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed both 21 Jump Street movies, and I would love to see a third one to kind of complete the trilogy, even though it's been 4 years since that movie came out, and we've had no movement on anything, so it's probably never going to happen. But having those guys team up with the Men in Black is just like, you know what? Why not? At this point, just why not? You know what? I've seen weirder things. Just go ahead and give it to me. It could work, it could not. And, you know, if Sony ends up getting hurt, I'm fine with that. Neither Jones nor Smith are expected to be back. They'll relaunch the franchise with a new cast, much the way that Spielberg did with Jurassic World. And the thing is, though, Jurassic World did well enough to you know, of course, obviously, like $1.5 billion. It's warranting its own trilogy. and they're bringing back, you know, Ian Malcolm, and I'm pretty sure other people from the original franchise or the original films will make a cameo appearance as well. So what that tells me essentially is that, you know, they're kind of hoping that it does well enough to be able to then tie into the nostalgia factor and bring back Agent K, or, you know, Will Smith was Agent J, or maybe even Tommy Lee Jones is Agent K, aging Agent K, maybe Linda Fiorentino, wherever she ended up going, and maybe even bringing like some Rosario Dawson back, you know, find a way, or Johnny Knoxville's character, or whomever, you know what I mean, like finding, or Patrick Warburton, bring back Patrick Warburton and something like that. They could find a way to tie it into the larger mythos that they're trying to create another franchise. But having a good architect at the beginning of that is going to be key. And F. Gary Gray is a good action director. He knows how to tell a fun, engaging theatrical experience, and as a result, I feel he probably would be good to launch this thing off. You know, and I'm excited to see more. I'm hoping we get to see more from this. I hope he actually comes on board to do it, because you know what, if we're rebooting everything else, I just would love there to be more of this. Of these kind of movies, rather than crappy horror films from Japan that kept getting remade all those years ago. At least this feels like it has some humor in it. And I mean, it's unfortunate that Barry Sonnenfeld won't be involved, because I felt like his touch on the first two films especially really helped kind of like establish it as being kind of Tim Burton light. But his work on a series of unfortunate events on Netflix has been grand, and I don't want to see him moved away from that at all. But in the meantime, we have a year and a half until the next Men in Black movie. What do you feel about that? I definitely want to know. What do you guys feel about that?